Oh shit, my mic is Look. All right. Okay, all right. Welcome back to the stream. It's already late today, and not only did I start with like my mic off. Holy shit. All right, let's get started. Let's just get started with this bit. All right. Day by day. Nice, we're starting Act 3. Holy shit. I rest my chin on my hand as I absent-mindedly look out the window. Yet another Amuto's lecture is droning on and on as if it were endless. The summer sky is almost alluring in its bright cerulean splendor. Only the odd passing cloud breaks up the deep blue expanse. The swimming along is probably the outdoor side of me yearning to escape. Nakai, can you answer this? That side of me is lost to the past now, though. In that case, I think it would use the ane suffix. Correct. Moving on, the suffix for. As my attention toward Muto slips once again, I spot Misha giving me an enthusiastic thumbs up and nod at her to settle her down. It's been a handful of days since Lily left for Scotland, days which have passed relatively peacefully. Light largely continued as usual, in contrast to what I'd expected, while thoughts of her had danced around the edge of my mind since she left. Present events managed to subdue them, at least for the time being. Still, I find myself idly chatting with Hanako as usual, when lunchtime finally rolls by. It's a good thing they're both chatting now, you know, like regularly, and like, you know, some like good friends. Are the later ones in the series good as well? Not really. You're probably better off just sticking to the original. His later books didn't live up to it, other than maybe God Emperor. Holy shit, they're talking about Dune. What the fuck? Holy shit, Dune. Thanks. I wasn't really sure if... As Hanako steps to the side, I see Shizune stride up in her typically businesslike manner, flanked by her ever-present bright-haired shadow. Try as I might, I can't read any hint of their intent from their faces. Shizune's poker face and Misha's seemingly boundless cheerfulness are a devilish combination. Morning, Shizune, Misha. Hi. I accentuate the greeting with a nod to Shizune in order to get the point across. She promptly and curtly returns the gesture to both of us. It's been a long while since I really talked to either of them. For a while, I thought they might be avoiding me. But I eventually came to the conclusion that Shizune really isn't the type to do so. Morning, Shichan says that Muto wants to see you sometime. Because of the statement, my face contorts as if I'd just eaten spoiled food, giving Misha no end of amusement. Wahaha! I wouldn't think you were in trouble, Shichan. You may not be aware of it, but you have the least to worry about out of anyone in the class. What an unexpected vote of confidence. Even Hanako nods hesitantly to affirm the point. Thanks. I'll keep that in mind. There was something I wanted to ask you though. And what might that be, Hichan? I have a feeling this won't go over well, but here goes. Is there any reason why you and Lily don't get along? It seems like even a little civility would help you both in your duties. Shizune's cold stare, after Misha happily signs the words, stops me in my tracks. In hindsight, I really could have worded that better. I like she kind of moves back a little. Out of the corner of my eye, I'm sure Hanako moved back. I saw Hanako move back. Just a little. Thankfully, she didn't notice this and lets her temper dissipate as she forcefully runs her hand through her hair to let off steam. Perfectly on cue, Misha begins interpreting the second Shizune's arms begin to move. I would say that such matters aren't relevant to you, but since you seem to have befriended Lily, she pauses to adjust her glasses, evidently attempting to articulate her point in the best possible manner. While I assume the same of her, I gotta call my own views on the matter unbiased. Suffice to say, we were closer before than we are now. Shizune makes a quick gesture to Misha to stop her from interpreting, and has a quick meeting with her before proceeding. The fact that the two can communicate so easily yet so secretly right in front of us is slightly disconcerting. Hanako seems to share my curiosity at the proceedings, looking on with a thinly masked interest. As they finish their opaque conversations, Misha looks slightly deflated. I guess her opinion on the matter was involved. Shichen says you should ask Lily about it, as she doesn't want to be the one that gets you involved. Ah, well. I'll just have to ask her after she gets back. At least I got some information out of Shizune. The two having been so close terms means they weren't always at each other's throats. Or at least, not quite to the extent. I understand. Thanks anyway. With a nod and a farewell, the two break away and walk out the door. No doubt headed straight for the student council room. Could have gone worse, I suppose. Hanako lets out a long breath, relieved at the confrontation's resolution. Can't say I blame her. I'll see you later then. Yeah, I'll meet you in the tea room. See ya. With that, she waves and joins the trickle of students leaving the classroom. Nakai, could I speak with you for a moment? Delivered in his typical monotone manner. He apparently decided I may need a reminder to see him already. Eventually, I finish packing up my things. By the time I reach his desk, the classroom is close to empty. Yes, sir? He looks up, taking a measure of my face before giving an awkward, rather obviously acted chuckle. No need to feel guilty. You're not in trouble. I just want to ask you something. I asked a few of the other students so far. That's the thing, at least. For a moment, I thought my axiom of keeping my head down and pen up had failed me. So, what did you want to talk about? To start with, what do you think of your progress in this class so far? Good? Bad? I detest that kind of question. For a fair amount of time, I tried to think of a response that is neither pathetically humble nor cocky. I'd say I'm doing okay. The work doesn't seem too hard, and I'm doing better on the test than I thought I would. And that's a good answer. The correct one, too. I give a mental sigh of relief at his satisfaction. To say that I don't gain a little pride from his comment would be a blatant lie. In the middle of snore of thoughts clouding my mind after learning that I'd be transferring to Yamaku, my school grades seemed utterly unimportant. Being entirely clueless as to what skill level would be assumed of me. Once I actually got here, I was hugely relieved when I found out that I understood well enough the schoolwork we will be doing. I know your circumstances might have thrown a wrench in the works, but have you given any thought to your future? My future? What you like to do as a profession? Do you have any thoughts of where you'd like to be in 10 or 20 years' time? I wouldn't be surprised if you covered this ground in your previous school, but I don't have any record of it if you have. I suppose the last year of high school is a time when students would need to be thinking about such things. To be honest, I really haven't lent it much thought compared to my immediate situation. Wait, give me a second. All right. Catching on to my thinking, Mito speaks up. It's okay if you haven't decided on anything specific yet. I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of your classmates were still undecided. After all, maybe pursue one of your talents? He's rather obviously trying to squeeze an answer out of me. And something about his previous wording makes me suspicious. He didn't seem to be intent on asking everyone like this, so he must have some kind of selection criteria. And I guess our grades in his class. Well, something in science might be the path of least resistance. His face brightens, no doubt pleased at the thought of a prize student following a subject as a career path. Good. Having a general idea is the first step. I would advise you to think on it though. I will. Things are kind of settling down, which will help. Good to hear. Oh, and I've noticed that Ikezawa's attendance and grades have improved since you became to be friends. I'd like to thank you for that. I'm surprised you noticed we knew each other. He gets a chuckle as awkward as his smile. This guy really has no idea how to properly act around others. Every facial movement seems like a careful act but misdirected choreography. You could say that having a general idea of who knows whom is part of a teacher's job. Catching himself before he goes on a tangent, he loudly cussed into his hat. I'm sure you have things to do. No. So I'll stop there. Please do think about where you're headed from here, as you don't have long to go before you finish high school. I will. Thanks. The brief talk ended. I take my leave. He goes back to fuzzing with the teaching materials on his desk. This is one of the times I'm envious of Lily. Almost maddeningly so. To have one's future so clear and so assured, you're working towards it from such a young age. It's an idea so utterly irreconcilable with my own thoughts, mired in the present day, just as they've always been. Oh man. Walking through the lobby to the cafeteria, I silently rue my daily routine, having been completely thrown off. It had seemed like a normal day, arrived in class before most, due to waking early and having become quite adept at chucking down my pills without choking as I get ready for the day. But as students trickled in, one never materialized. Hanako. I step inside, my eyes scanning the expanse of the cafeteria in search of a suitable place to take a seat. It's a task made more difficult by the group of students moving about and busily talking. Gah! A hand pounds my back hard a couple of times, severely winding me. I couldn't care less about the culprit as I focused my thoughts on my chest in a near automatic reaction. My hand instinctively tightens on my breast, and I start going through the steps I rehearse in my mind every other day. Breathe steadily. In and out. With a measure of relief, I could slowly feel my chest becoming less tense. By the time I look back up, my face is covered in sweat from the experience. Jesus Christ, man. Hey, man, are you okay? God damn it, don't do that, you idiot! He retreats back, an expression of unease written on his face. In hindsight, I probably shouldn't have barked at him, considering he had no way to know. I give a sigh and right myself with some difficulty. Sorry, I just have some chest problems. Sharp knocks aren't good. It seems strange to see him so upset. The fact that I can't do anything about it irritates me. Let's get lunch. Okay, it's good to have some company, for once. It can't be helped, he doesn't know, so, it's considering we're talking about Kenji here, so, the guy's like the ultimate opposite. Wait, did it start? Oh, fuck, I think it started moving. Fuck, man. All right, here we go. We start off to the serving line. One good thing is that Kenji and I can make small talk nowadays, as opposed to my only interaction with him being anti-feminist lectures. Seems like it'll be hard to find an empty table. There's a few people I wouldn't mind sitting with. Nobody's like you, though. I feel a shiver run through my spine. Clarify that now. They don't listen. Their minds are closed. It's the media, man. The goddamn brainwashing mainstream feminist fascist media. He takes a breath, and I savor the second of silence. Damn! They control everything! Everything but you and me! I relax a little while we grab our food and drink. So, what you got for me? Huh? Come on! You've been hanging around Sato and the other chick for ages now. Rumors are all over my class, and probably some of the others too. Eavesdropping isn't a good habit. Let me guess. You never do it. Not even when you're bored, really. Well, fine. Point taken. Both of us stop to have soup ladle into a couple of small bowls and place onto our trays. The concoction that lands into the bowl looks pretty questionable, but at least it smells reasonably good. As we take our seats at the miraculously free table, I try to think of something that would actually interest him at all. I hope I can come up with an acceptable topic. I found an answer to the question you asked a couple of weeks back, where the Lily's non-Japanese hat comes from, that is. Good man. It's Russia, right? Totally Russia. Scotland. He visibly stopped in his tracks. Scotland? Yeah, that was my reaction too. She could speak English fluently and everything. Damn it! Do you realize what this means? How terrifying this news is to me? I think he's hyperventilating. Passing out for a little while would probably make him more relaxed than he normally is. You know what? Maybe it's fine to humor him. I don't know how this goes, so let's humor him. I have no idea what that means. Enlighten me. I just lost 1,000 yen, man. 1,000 yen! Damn! This is the worst day ever! You're kidding me. You made a bet about her nationality? One of the dudes in my class was bugging me about it. I gave him some of my wisdom, and he had the audacity to say my logic was wrong. So, what did he think? Germany or something. It doesn't matter. What matters is my 1,000 yen. Damn! This day is ruined thanks to her! What a bitch! He looks utterly devastated. He looks utterly devastated as he wolfs down. Sorry, I can't read this normally. As he wolfs down several clumps of his soggy soaked rice, and only takes a few mouthfuls before he pokes his chopsticks at me, stabbing the air repeatedly in revelation. Why? Would did your mother ever tell you not to speak with your mouth full? He gives me a dirty look before choking down the rest of the food left in his mouth and taking a gulp of juice. It's rather unsightly. Remembering my own food sitting in front of me, I decided to get the task of eating the cafeteria food over and done with as fast as possible. The sooner I do so, the sooner the experience will be over. Wait, give me a second. Okay, I thought something was going to happen to me, but it didn't. Anyway. Alright, there you go. So as I was saying, why would anyone want to live in that place anyway? I mean, what is there to see? Grassy plains? That's it. Lots and lots of grassy plains. And men in the cults. I'm not sure which is worse. The food or his worldview? I can feel my face being dragged down by this combined weight. Not that you notice or care. It's not that bad. Why do you care about her so much anyway? She's just your class representative after all. He gives a malevolent chuckle. Were this anyone but Kenji, I'd feel uneasy at how he sounds. I finally found the chink in the Feminist Legion's armor. It took a while, but I'm confident that this is going to be how we can bring down the whole system. I'm about to blow your mind. Are you ready? I tune out his rambling for a moment as I finish my rice and start on the unappetizing soup. One taste is enough to confirm that it's cold. Ready as I'll ever be. I confirm that Lily is in the mafia. What? Alright, stay with me for a second here, and I'll describe the scene. I wish I could do otherwise. Lily's there, walking down the street after school. You're not stalking her, are you? No, damn man! I do have some sense of self-preservation, but not dignity or morals or social standards. Anyway, as I was saying, this car pulls up next to her. And guess who steps out? A man in a pinstripe suit. Waves her in. Did the two leave just like that? I tell you, man, she's under protection. Under protection. A man in a... Oh. I can see where this is going now. It takes effort not to sigh in exasperation. Let me guess. This man was about average height, had a slightly slender build, has blonde hair, looked foreign, and smiled a lot. He looks positively stunned. He looks positively stunned. I take advantage of the moment of quiet to quickly call a mouthful of cold soup. I love the expression really sells it for me, man. It seems you're more observant than I thought. Yes, I have chosen well. He giggles a little and nods to himself so dramatically it looks comical. I can't tell whether that's intentional or not, and the fact makes me frown. This has important ramifications, you know. If she really is connected to people like them, and we're smart about what we do with this information, we could turn this into our greatest weapon against the student council. Once he starts rambling into the conspiracy theory, my juice suddenly becomes much more important. Only half listening to his pontifications, my mind drifts to the matter of Lily and her antipathy for Shizune. The past between them is steadily becoming more coherent, but I'm not even sure if I should be learning of her past this way. Indeed, even if I do work out what went on, it really doesn't seem like my business to go and interfere. Damn. Not having Lily around is making my thoughts wander. I'm no only more bored and sullen without her company. And the same goes for Hanako. All we do during lunch anymore is eat and play chess. Come to think of it, I need to go check on Hanako after school too. Considering her improved attendance, I guess she's coming down with something. Oh, Nakai? I stop as I'm about to leave the classroom, turning on the ball of my heel to meet Muto. He's holding out to me a couple of worksheets he's worked on during the day with his long, lanky arm. Would you mind giving these to Ikezawa? I'd normally ask one of the girls to do it, but I assume you'll be checking on her. For a moment, I briefly considered the possibility of that being more than an innocent prediction. I quickly discarded the idea, though, as it's hard to think of him as acting in such a Machiavellian way. It's not in his nature. Sure, no problem. Walking up the hallway of the girls' dormitory, several ideas of why Hanako's been absent float around my head. The most obvious of them is just a simple cold. That said, she may not even be sick at all. It's been almost a week since Lily left, and despite her at least appearing to be normal, I suspect that she's somewhat more insecure about it than she's letting on. Eventually, I come to Hanako's dormitory room. It's a simple brown door separating us. Her room's position is next to Lily is extremely convenient, and probably a large contributor to their meeting in the first place. Grimacing slightly at the prospect of her being sick, I rap my knuckles on the door. Silence. I listen intently for any sound of shuffling coming from inside, but I can't hear a thing. I knock on the door again, slightly harder. Still no answer. How strange. A door opens behind me. A freckled and somewhat scrawny underclassman I don't recognize comes out and is really taken off guard by my presence. Hi. I don't think there's anything wrong with asking about Hanako. Actually, this might be a rather fortuitous meeting. Hey, excuse me. Do you know if Hanako's come out of her room today or not? She doesn't seem to be answering. Ikezawa is Ikezawa. Her not answering the door is totally normal. That tall foreign girl is the only person she'll ever talk to after all. She gives a shrug before walking off down the hallway, having much more important matters to attend to than Hanako for me. Her dismissive attitude annoys me. Hanako must have a reputation as a hermit. A reputation that doesn't seem outright undeserved, at least at the time before we met. Scratching my head, I make one last attempt at getting Hanako to answer as I knock on the door one final time. Hanako, it's just me. Mito said to give you some stuff. For a while, that attempt seems just as unsuccessful as the last. Just before I slip the sheets under her door, though, I can hear the handle rattling. Oh, she's in her PJs. Nice. As the door opens halfway, I do my best to look Hanako over as quickly as possible. It's a task made somewhat more difficult by her oversized gown hiding so much of her body. She doesn't look sick, or at least not immediately so. To be honest, I prepared that to her expression right now. Hi, Hanako. Muto wanted me to give you these since you weren't in class today. I hold out the loose sheets, which she tentatively takes in her hands. The way she moves is weird, devoid of thought, as if she's some kind of mechanical automaton, rather than a living being. Are you okay? If you're feeling sick or anything, I could get the nurse. It feels almost pitiful to put on such a routine get well soon act. I can't think of anything else I could possibly do for her though. She seems to collect herself a little at the notion, but only a little. I'm fine. Okay. Still awkward. As an awkward silence follows, eventually ended by her nodding solemnly in farewell and closing the door. The entire experience feels surreal. More than a little put off, I wander back to my room and hope that she'll be better by tomorrow, despite not knowing exactly what's wrong with her. Once again, I find myself in front of Hanako's door, after another of her unexplained absences from class. Nothing. Considering this is the second day in a row she's been like this, I'm starting to worry about her. Summoning my willpower, I decided to try one last way to get her to respond. Hanako, if you don't say anything, I'll go get the nurse for you. Go away! What? It's hard to tell whether her tones one of depression, anger, or both. What in the world can I actually do to help her? She doesn't even want help. The message is clear though. I can't just leave her like this, though. Just sitting in her room for days on end. Rubbing my temples in thought, I withdraw to my own room to think about how to proceed. Rationality is what's needed here, as an overreaction may just make matters worse. I dig around drawer after drawer of my desk. Wait, I got distracted again. Give me a second. Alright, let's go. I dig around drawer after drawer of my desk, looking for where I put that damn piece of paper. Before she left, Lily told me the number to call her on while in Scotland, and I wrote it down. Now that I need it though, the damn thing is... here. I probably should have just entered it directly into my cell phone, come to think of it. Without further ado, I entered the numbers and anxiously pressed the call button. The fact that the phone rings at all, that I got the prefix for a call to Scotland right at least. I never made an international call before, so that's some comfort. Eventually the phone picks up. A feminine voice I don't recognize on the other end. It's probably Lily's mother. Sato? English. Suddenly finding myself unprepared, I realize I can't understand a word she says, either due to my limited vocabulary or her heavy accent. I shouldn't have anticipated this, since, according to Lily, her mother is a native Scot. I sold her on in the hope that she must know some Japanese, considering it's her daughter's native language. It's Hisao Nakai speaking. An enthusiastic sound of realization can be heard as she recognizes the language. The feeling of relief is immense. Ah, you must be one of Lily's friends from school, correct? Even so, her accent means I had to concentrate to work out what she's saying. Yes, that's right. Pleased to speak with you, Miss Sato. It's nice of her to find someone so polite. Lily, dear, it's for you. Her mother seems nice, if a little over enthusiastic, given the mundane situation. There's a small silence as Lily takes her time getting to the phone. In the distance, I can just make her out, her mother scolding her playfully for just getting up. Hello? Lily speaking. You sound awful. She makes a sound somewhere between a dying animal and a yawn. The one thing I did remember to check before calling was the time zone. It'll be pretty late in the morning over there, so she really has no excuse. Not feeling well? Just tired. What time is it there? Late afternoon. School's finished for the day not long ago. You're really not a morning person, are you? I don't need you making fun of it as well. It takes me a measure of restraint not to laugh at her pain groan. Poor girl. How are you doing over there then? Bar the mornings? It's been enjoyable. And they're not meeting them for so long. Just having a meal together with my parents is nice. Though the pool and the sheer size of the house might have something to do with that as well. Even if we're not in Japan, from the way it sounds, her family must be pretty wealthy to live so luxuriously. Are things all right with you and Hanako? Damn, I was hoping that wouldn't be brought up quite so quickly. I take a moment to try and sort out exactly how to describe the situation without causing her undue worry. But she picks up on that without a word being said. Hanako's not well. Is she? How did you know? Because today is her birthday. I hope she might have gotten at least a little better after coming to know you, but how is she right now? She missed school yesterday and seemed out of sorts when I checked up on her. Today she missed school again and just told me to go away. I really got no idea what to make of it. Has this happened in the past? Is it related to her scarring in some way? Unfortunately so. Roughly the same thing happened last year when her birthday came up. As far as I can tell, it's because her parents died in an accident that caused her scarring, and Hanako blames herself for their deaths. What she says does seem to make sense. If she's blaming herself on her birthday, she might well be ruining that she was ever born. The fact that Lily seems so in the dark about it, though, almost to the extent that I am, is a surprise. So, that's why she lives in the student dormitories as well. Has she told you any more about the accident? As close as we've come, she's very barely told me anything about what happened. What I know about it is largely conjecture. She sounds depressed, almost defeated. Considering the trauma Hanako must have gone through, I really can't fault Lily for not knowing. Nevertheless, she seems to consider it a personal failing. Don't blame yourself, Lily. With everything she's gone through. I know. Thank you, Hisao. I'm sorry I can't be more of help to you. It's fine. I'll just give it some thought. Thanks. And have a good time in Scotland. It's nothing. Thank you for taking care of Hanako. Okay, bye. What was she about to say, man? What was she about to say? Damn. Goodbye. And with that, the line goes silent. No, wouldn't it be like a beeping sound? I don't know, man. Maybe that's how it works in Scotland. I don't know, man. I don't know anything about Scotland. So let's continue. You got distracted. Give me a few seconds. Mm. Oh. Suinosora port is almost done. Holy shit. All right, here we go. I meant the seemingly only increased number of questions I can't answer. The most immediate is what Lily was going to say. Oh. Oh no. I'm an idiot. She must have thought I was calling to talk with her. But I only asked for help with the Hanako. Even more shameful than the thought is the fact that such an appraisal would be largely correct. Well, first things first. For now, I need to at least sort out Hanako and make sure that she's actually eating okay. Maybe she could do the Hisui thing. Maybe she could do the Hisui thing, man. He could probably do the Hisui thing. Wait, how did I go back? What the fuck? Oh. Oh, I just learned how the mouse wheel works. I didn't know that's how the mouse wheel works. Okay, apparently I can reverse scenes. I didn't know you could do that with the mouse wheel. Anyway, yeah, she could do the Hisui, or more famously known as "Do you want to build a snowman?" Anyway, let's continue. The occasional passing students give badly hidden glances at the plate of food I carry to the female dormitories. It's hardly a meal to be proud of, only being an instant microwave meal for the convenience store. But it should at least fill her up. Eventually, I arrive outside her room, and they're having to ward up a couple of girls who jokingly tried to pilfer the food I've taken so long to procure. Wait, what? What the fuck? What's up with the girls here? What the fuck? Why are they trying to steal the food? What the fuck? Are they are they not being fed? What the hell? What the hell, man? Anyway, I decided to forego knocking, since it was proven to be an utterly useless measure, and it's somewhat difficult to do with my hands full. Hanako, it's Hisao. I know you're listening. I got some food for you. Silence. As I expected. I'll leave it beside your door. Please, eat it at least, okay? There. I've said my piece. Now it's up to her. Putting the plate down, I walk back to my own room to eat my dinner. How close is the dormitories? What the fuck? And give me the impression it's probably at least like a 3 to 4 minute walk, you know? I mean, you're going up the room, going down, you cross probably a small courtyard, and you go in, stairs, and then okay, maybe it's more than 3 minutes. Whatever. By the time I return to Hanako's dormitory, a good hour's pass. Thankfully, there isn't anything to be seen beside her door. I walk back at least somewhat happier that she's eating. If she intends to get through this by herself, then being able to help, even if it's just in such a small way, is at least something. I sat reading in the library after school, turning page after page, barely registering the words written on each out of sheer boredom. With my cheek resting in my hand, I can't help notice a slightly rough feeling against my palm. It won't be long before I'll need to get a razor. Oh wait, I shaved this morning. I'm fine. Giving up on reading, I simply let my head drop onto the brook in front of me. Things have quieted down considerably since Hanako began attending school again. When she first returned to class, nothing was said nor done that wasn't part of the usual routine, and it's been the same since. Neither of us desired to bring up her accident, so there simply wasn't any point in pursuing it. Thus a few days went by, the daily grind continued just as it had before. It's only natural that my mind would wander to other places, and more importantly, the other people. The lily-shaped hole in the daily life of Hanako and me have been pretty noticeable for a while now. So, Hisao, did you call Lily again? And just to chat, you know? I mean, you can call her again. There's nothing wrong. At least call, if it's someone close, you know, every couple days, you know. If you're ultra close, if you know what I mean, that'll be every day. But I don't know. When was the last time they spoke? During Hanako's problem? Oh man, this guy needs to call more. I'll be pleased to say that this has allowed me time to refine just what my thoughts on her exactly are. But alas, I had no such luck. It doesn't help that many attempts to do so had led to the troublesome topic of Iwanako. Every time my thoughts drift into that direction, I reflexively try to think about something else. Why did this have to happen now? I turn and look up the source of the tentative voice coming from behind me. Sorry. I didn't mean to disturb anyone. That's not it. Huh? I glance around the orange-tinted room, quickly realizing how silly my apology must have sounded. In the time spent thinking and lazing about in here, everyone's well and truly left. Library closing? If you don't want to go, I could keep it open a bit longer. It's no trouble at all. Don't worry, I should get going anyway. Thanks. As I get up and begin to move, I feel Yuko's eyes drilling into my back. Is there something wrong? You look depressed. Are you okay? Yuko nervously twists her fingers as she says this, unsure whether she's overstepping her boundaries or not. I really can't tell if she's more worried about my mood or about bothering me. Normally I just shrug it off and assure her that I'm fine. But my reflexive mood gets the better of me. Reflective mood. Why did I say reflexive? Anyway, reflective. Despite being staff, she really doesn't feel as much as like an authority figure as the others. It's just, I guess the best term for it would be relationship problems. Oh, I'm not too good with that kind of thing. My only relationship ended a bit abruptly. But if you want to talk about it, I mean, I could listen, I think. Wow, Yuko's such a bro. What the fuck? Now I feel kind of bad for bringing it up. She's not that old though, so at least she has a good chance of finding another partner. Isn't like we're in a bad situation right now. We just spent many days together as friends, sometimes going out to do stuff, that kind of thing. But I'm starting to want to do more for her, learn more about her, and be with her more. I'm not sure whether it's actually love or not, though. And our friendship, as it stands, is enjoyable. You shouldn't let that stop you. Sorry. How to say this? I think that's nice. You have a good friendship. But school is going to eventually end. Do you think you'll be fine without knowing if it could have gone further after you graduated? I guess that's the crux of the problem. I really have no idea what the answer to that question is. Well, I can't really help there. What your true feelings are is something you have to decide for yourself. But I think that if you do love her, you should definitely say something. After thinking about it really hard, I decided that even though my relationship didn't work out, it's still better that way than never knowing if it might have or not. I never expected Yuko to sound so wise. It only makes sense that, with more life experience than I, should have a better idea about this. While I suppose not very much was actually answered, talking to her has helped get it off my chest. And I have no problem that I should confess if I really do like Lily. I give a slightly frustrated sigh. If only reading so much actually helped when it comes to situations like this. She gives a girlish giggle, which only reinforces my view of her as being different from the usual staff here. In the end, it all comes down to what will happen after school finishes once again. Considering what happened before I came to Yamaku, it feels like being asked to keep up with the field of runners, despite having started from a dozen yards behind them. It's just one more motive to move on from the past. The last thing I need right now is to get too caught up in that and getting homesick while I'm at it. Once again, I find myself calling Lily. My phone bill is going to be horrific, considering this is international. Yeah, considering this is early 2010s. I mean, this was made early 2010s. Late 2000s, early 2010s. Yeah, this is going to cost a lot. But didn't Skype exist? I don't know if for Japan, because that was the old Skype. I'm not talking about Microsoft Skype. Because back in 2011, 2010s, I was calling someone when I was living back in the old country. I was calling someone in the States through Skype. Of course, now that I'm in the States, but it's much easier to call people nowadays. But anyway, it's worth it. I don't only want to smooth over her feelings from the last time I called. I genuinely want to talk to her again. When the phone finally picks up, I easily recognize the voice on the other end. Sato? Hello, Miss Sato? May I, speak? Damn, I've forgotten how the rest is supposed to go. It's not encouraging to forget such a small amount of words, even if I then spend that long trying to memorize them. May I speak with Lily, please? Hello again, Hisao. Are you teaching yourself English? Just a little. I don't think I'm too good at languages in general. Oh, don't say that. Your pronunciation was good. I'll get Lily for you. Just wait a moment. I conveniently wait as she goes off in search of Lily, the other end going silent. Eventually, a much more awake sounding Lily than last time answers. The time over there being past noon by now. Hisao? Are you there? Yeah, I'm here. Hi. Good afternoon. Sorry for taking so long. I was outside in the garden. Gardening? Unfortunately, I found I'm no good at it. So, I just smell the flowers. I think my fingers appreciate more. I take it Hanako's recovered a bit? Yeah. I just made sure she was eating. And eventually she'll right herself. Thanks for the help the other day. I don't think I was really that much help. The main thing is that she's better, though. True. How's life over there, then? It sounds like you've been living in nothing short of a mansion. I wouldn't call it a mansion, but it is rather large, is obviously what she wants to say. Though modesty stops her. I'm a little envious, but it is her holiday. It's a nice house to stay in, though. There's a beach near here too. Acker is especially fond of it. She's a swimmer. She's constantly dragging me there to have swimming competitions, which she wins every time. Lee doesn't strike me as very athletic at all, so not being adept at swimming seems logical enough. The fastest I've ever seen her move is understandably a relaxed pace during her walks to and from the suburbs down the hill from the school. It makes the image of her swinging hard to imagine. The beaches there must look nice. They'll be less crowded than the ones around here, at least. Indeed, Acker says the area around here looks beautiful because it's so far outside the city. I only realize what I've said after I say it, but it doesn't bother her at all. It's so easy to forget that she can't see what's when she's not around, despite the time we've been friends. That said, the local accent sometimes makes communication a bit hard. It's a constant reminder that this isn't home, while the fact she doesn't consider her parents' residence to be her home makes good sense. It makes me realize that I can't really answer whether the same goes for me. Graduation from Yamaku is distant enough to be difficult to view objectively. And I spent so much time in this small room. I come to accept this dormitory as my new home surprisingly quickly. I guess that would be hard to deal with. Is your knowledge of English holding up? Thankfully, I may be fluent, but in the position where I have to use it often helps in curbing my Japanese accent. So, it's been useful practice. I hear you're trying to teach yourself English. More like memorizing a few lines and failing even at that. I'm really not cut out for learning another language. My admission of defeat draws an amused giggle. I believe there are things one chooses to do in life, and also things that are chosen for one to do in life. You can take comfort in the fact you're better than me in science and math at least. All that's help is making me Muto's star student. Oh, I didn't know he was that good. I mean, Muto's kind of, well, well, that is really good to hear. I wouldn't worry about it. They're useful skills for many jobs, right? That's what he tells me. His face veritably lit up when I say I'd probably go into a career involving either. We both share a warm laugh at the events that have befallen each other on opposite ends of the world. It's nice. It reminds me of our simple small talk that I've been missing since she left. As each of us waits for the other to begin speaking, I decide to push ahead with my feelings. I can feel my throat tightening slightly. Well, I miss you. The silence on the other end of the phone tells me she's given the words their due weight. But as it goes on, I can't help feeling more and more apprehensive. Thankfully, the silence ends, almost as quickly as it begun. I miss you too, Hisao. Goodbye. What? Why? You're ending the call after saying that? It's like, I guess she got really embarrassed or some shit. What the fuck? Why did the call end that fast? After saying I miss you and then they end the call? They really got embarrassed? What the hell? Oh my god. Man, they really got embarrassed or some shit. She ends the call after replying. What the hell? That's a weird way to end the call. What the hell, man? She really got embarrassed. It really took all her strength. It really took all her courage. And then I'm gonna end the call now. What the hell is this, man? All right, let me continue. That's so cute. Goodbye, Lily. Once again, the phone is hung up, and simply and without any further ado. Well, no, seriously, why? Why do you? I can't imagine just randomly saying I miss you, and then ending the call right then and there. You know, other than yeah, it's either an embarrassment, either due to embarrassment or something like she realized something. You know, I don't know. Anyway, I don't want to overthink this. Let the story tell it for me. I'm reading a story. I'm not trying to theorize about the story right now. There's no need. I just simply need to uh, put my time on this. That light, tentative, almost shy voice. Her warm and soft tone. I'd simply be lying to myself if I were to say that I don't recognize this feeling for what it is. With thoughts of Lily dancing in my mind, I start anticipating her return. Today has been a most excellent day. Bruh, I still don't get it. I still don't get it. No, I actually kind of do, but I've gone past that point to be like, what the fuck? that right now, all I can think is like, what the fuck? Different story maybe back then, but right now I'm like, you know, was what he mentioned earlier, having experience and all. I got distracted again. All right, let's go. I sit listening to another Muto's long-winded lectures, my mind wandering far from the scribbles of the dirty blackboard. Since I called Lily, my mind's been drawn in two directions, but roughly lead to the same conclusion. I've started to feel oddly detached from my past self. It's only been a month and a half since I arrived here, yet the school's become a second home. I'm gaining new friends and contacts, managed to get a grasp with the school's lifestyle and culture, and become accustomed to the quirks of my classmates. I've become used to a school where disabilities are the norm, rather than the exception. Still catches me off guard sometimes when I think on it. The same school that's populated by burn victims, amputees, the blind, the deaf, and all manner of disabilities in between. If someone had to describe the school to me before I'd come, I shrug it off as an overactive imagination. Even when I first arrived, I felt like the Dutch, coming to the strange new land for the first time. It's amazing how quickly one becomes used to the environment they're forced to live in. Really. And now I've even found someone that's got me entirely smitten. What a strange life. Before my mind can wander any further, though, I find a page of lined paper slip under my distracted face. A garish, bright pink ink has no doubt been penned by Misha. Don't look so bored, Hichan. School's nearly over. 3-day holiday. I can't imagine her voice. So I'm making like a weird voice right now. All right, we get Saturday and Monday off. Can't complain about having less school though, I suppose. I uncap my pen and scribble on the page before covertly passing it back to her. Flickering my eyes to the front of her class every now and then, Muto continues scrolling away arcane equations and formulas on the board. I guess you have something planned? Yusha takes the paper back and hunches it over comically, even for her, with her tongue poking through the side of her mouth. Does she misinterpret my expression as depressed? And is she trying to cheer me up? Student council with Shit-chan, of course. You're not still brooding over that, surely. But Hit-chan could have helped us poor lonely girls. I'll lend you a hand for today if I wasn't going to be busy. Oh, naughty, naughty Hit-chan. I'm just going to meet with Lily with Hanako. I don't know what you got going through your head. So Lily's back. Yeah, she's coming on the evening flight with her sister, so she'll be back in school next week. As she takes the note bag and begins to write, I look up to see an unwelcome sight. Well, I frantically try to silently catch Nisha's attention. Muto confidently strides through the gap between the desks from the front of the class, his intent gaze focused directly on her. She suddenly stops writing as his tall figure casts an impossibly long shadow over the page. He silently takes the piece of paper from her and begins to read. Sweating bullets, I quickly glance around the class, noting their complete silence. Of course, it would have to be one thing that actually gets their attention during the lesson. After a scant few seconds examining the page, he rolls the paper up into a small tube and lightly bumps Nisha over the head with it. Half an hour until you can hop off to the student council. I think you can hold off until then. Nisha's face cracks as the entire class erupts into laughter. He might well be awkward, but he knows how to handle her excellently. I'd probably feel sorry for her if I weren't as busy stifling my own laughter.
Hisao, is that one it?
No, I think that's some foreign airline. And so the third aircraft that comes, that's not on comes in to land. For the past half hour, we've been whiling away the time with small snippets of pointless chatter. Lily and Akira's life have been delayed, and at this rate, it'll probably be dark before their plane arrives.
Is that one it?
No, the company colors are wrong. Hanako's eyes flutter left and right, following the trickle of people in and out of the huge glass doors ahead of us. Fortunately, nobody pays her much heed. Their attention apparently directed toward greater things.
Maybe that one is it.
No, I think that's... hold on a minute. I think that one might be it after all. It takes still some more time before the billboard changes their flight status to disembarking. A loud yawn sneaks up on me, not allowing enough time to stifle it. My sleep patterns have once again been all over the place, likely due to a mix of worrying about Hanako and the side effects of my medications.
Hisao, over there.
I look to Hanako, then follow her gaze to the airport door. Hmm?
Oh, Lily, they're here. Really?
She's still wearing a suit. That's amazing. We all call out to each other in greeting, quickly shuffling over to the side to avoid blocking the passage of others.
Lily!
Hanako jumps forward to hug Lily, a wide smile on her face being all that's needed to see her happiness at Lily's return. Lily simply smiles in return, her voice soft.
It's wonderful to meet you again, Hanako.
As the two give each other a hug, well deserved after all that's happened while she was gone, I turn to Akira. Yo, you're pretty late.
Yeah,
there was a really bad storm over the airport. We got drenched just going from the car to the door. I guess you'll appreciate the weather here more.
Welcome back to you too, Lily.
The music stops. What does this mean? Hanako breaks off from Lily as I speak. For a long time, neither of us says a word. Contrary to what I thought her homecoming would be like, the atmosphere feels awkward, almost stifling. Both of us try to guess each other's feelings, not quite sure about what should be said. Damn! This is exactly what I feared when I thought of trying to move things forward between us. Lily runs her hand through her fair hair and awkwardly twirls one of her bangs in her fingers, clearly trying to think of how to best react. Eventually, thankfully, Lily gives a small sigh and breaks the silence.
Thank you, Hisao. It's nice to be back.
Are you okay?
You look tired.
Evidently not recollecting herself all that well. She quickly waves her hand in front of her face to stave off any concern Hanako may have over her.
I'm okay. Really. It's just a bit of jet lag.
Weak. You don't have any. She simply gives a big grin, puffing out her modest chest. Oh yeah. Well, I don't care. Anyway, I feel absolutely fine.
That's not fair.
Oh well, you shouldn't take too long to get rid of it.
That's right. Hisao,
Yeah?
don't we have a holiday for school soon?
I had forgotten if Misha hadn't reminded me this morning. We got a 3-day weekend starting from tomorrow. Akira playfully bumps her elbow lightly into Lily's side, grinning. Told ya you wouldn't miss it. You have something planned? If neither of you nor Hanako are busy, I got no plans. So, something to do would be appreciated.
Hanako? No, nothing.
That's good. I was thinking we could go to my family's summer house for a bit of quiet over the break. We rarely used it recently, though. So we'd have to dust things off for a while we're there. Oh? Where is it? Up north, in Hokkaido. The place is practically deserted, so it should be a nice quiet break for you guys. Wait, where's Yamaku theoretically located? I actually have no idea. You're not coming? Nah. I got a little holiday of my own set up with my boyfriend. I lower my eyes at her, suspicious of her intentions. It sounds like we're just cleaning up the summer house for you.
That's perhaps a valid conclusion.
Both of us zero in on Akira, her face somewhat evasive. Looks like we were right. It's just a convenient bonus. Really, me and the guy left it in a pretty good shape last we were there, I promise. Now then, I'm out of here.
Already?
Akira. She quickly turns and walks away, her hand held high. See you in a few days, guys. Lily and I can only sigh at her hasty retreat. It does sound like it would be a nice place to go. Lily gives an enthusiastic nod. Taking her carry bag in one hand and placing her other on Hanako's shoulder for guidance as we begin to make our way to the taxi area. After the fracas of the past few days, spending a weekend in the country alone with her and her Hanako sounds like a dream. The more I think about it, the more sure I am. This will be the right time and place to confess my feelings to her. Alright, here we go. Holy shit. Wait. I don't know what time of the year it is in this game. And it's obviously after summer, so it's either fall or winter. I think it's close to winter at this point. Going to Hokkaido during winter, man, that's a good experience. Anyway, the morning chill wraps itself around my shivering body. I huff into my cupped hands to desperately try and stave off the cold as we mill about on the station platform. Lily's clothing looks rather ill-suited for the temperature around us. I can only hope it's indicative of what she expects the weather to be like at our destination. Damn it, Lily. Why do we have to get here so early? Unfortunately, the train schedule is against us. The next train to Hokkaido is at 2 in the afternoon. Great, just great. I pause a moment to wipe out some sleep out of my eyes, and Lily promptly takes advantage of the opening.
Cheer up, Hisao.
Once we get there, it'll be much warmer. What? Warmer? Hokkaido's colder. Wherever they are.
Why not just take the bullet train? A normal train's going to take hours to get us there. So we may as well take a Shinkansen line as far north as it goes and just switch at the end.
It's kind of weird he says Shinkansen and bullet train as if they're two different things, but it's literally the same thing. Whatever.
There's a certain charm to older trains. Wouldn't you agree?
She just wants to take the scenic route, basically. And if it's fall, it's going to be prettier at that time of the year. I remember what fall is like in Japan at that time of the year, with the leaves turning brown and red. Oh, that's a beautiful sight. Anyway,
I'd agree if I weren't freezing in the morning cold because we decided to take one. I'm sorry, Hisao.
sorry.
What for? I was the one who suggested taking a normal train.
Way to make me feel guilty. All I can do is sigh and cover my face with my hand. It's fine. I'm just grumbling.
My, Hanako. You didn't even shoulder all the blame yourself. Even without your suggestion, I'd still have opted for the same thing.
Thankful for the quick interception from Lily, I take a quick gander around the station. Aside from us, the train platform is all but deserted. The morning dew setting on the empty benches. I guess no one else was masochistic enough to brave the very early morning. Though if someone was, they'd more than noticed the huge bags both Lily and Hanako brought with them. Just, what did you have to pack in those things anyway? The bags? She pauses a moment and tilts her head in question and thought. A change of clothing, raincoat, underwear, sleepwear, a number of books. I think that's most of it. You make it sound like as if I'm unprepared. You brought less? Underwear and a pack of cards, that's it. Underwear and a pack of cards? What the fuck? Not even like a shirt? Not even pants? What the fuck? What is this guy? What the hell? I don't get it. And my pills. But never mind that.
No pajamas?
Damn, I knew I forgot something. As I ruffle my hair in frustration, Lily sighs.
There should be clothes you should use there. How could there still occasionally goes there after all? And I think some of my parents' clothing is still in the storage.
I don't think there'll be any problem with you borrowing a set of pajamas if need be. Thanks. Still, I don't mind just sleeping in my normal clothing. What the fuck? Who does this, man? And I don't think they're gonna be there like for... I mean, it's just... I'm guessing it's Saturday. They're off Saturday, Sunday, Monday. So they'll probably go home at Monday morning or something. So, you know, it's still like... It's kind of weird. I don't know, man.
For 2 days?
Good point. This guy doesn't think. What the fuck? Even when I was around his age, I would worry about, like, you know, I'll at least count the number of days first, you know? Not really, though. Though, 2 days would be borderline. It's more than looking even a little like a slob would be unacceptable in the presence of two girls. As we leisurely talk on the station platform, an announcement sounds from the loudspeakers, loudly heralding our ride's arrival. Looking past Lily and Hanako, though, the train's still well out of sight. A quick check on my watch is enough to see that it's the one we'll be taking. 5:30 train was ours, right?
Correct.
Either of you want me to take your bags? Mine's not exactly heavy.
My. That's very gentlemanly of you, Hisao.
Don't accept too reluctantly now. As I bend down to pick up Lily's large bag, I look up to see Hanako picking up hers. You fine with that? A silent nod's the only answer. I'm starting to get the feeling that by the trip's end, I'll be able to count every sentence she said on one hand. Ew. Very fast. Very fast. Hayai.
Wait, give me a second. All right, let's go. Let's go. With the morning landscape passing by the window, and the occasional rattle of the train pumping the carriage around, I try to focus my attention on the aging playing cards held in my hands. Oh, wait. There you go. I'll raise you 5. She scrunches her face up and leans over to Lily's conspiratively, the two exchanging a few whispered words. Considering how often this happened so far, I'm coming to doubt Hanako's grasp of how to play poker. It doesn't seem to disrupt Lily's reading though, her hand floating over each page with occasional corrections to account for the train's bumping and rocking. My collection of chess pieces that we're using as chips is steadily growing anyway, so it doesn't really bother me. Looking around us, our carriage is almost as empty as the station platform we waited for the train itself on. Only a handful of people can be seen, looking mostly like tourists or couples on holiday, while the two continue their less than clandestine strategizing. A small boy looks over the seat and stares at me, hoping he doesn't begin to stare at Hanako. I simply give him a wave and a smile. Thankfully, he retreats back to his seat, after finding me far too boring to waste his attention on. Alright, I'll see you and raise you. Another 5. Damn! You caught me! My fault. I've been bluffing. She's caught me. Hanging my head, I push over a large portion of my winnings. Hanako looks absolutely delighted, even if Lily keeps her attention focused on her reading material. I can see the smirk on her face. They're both extremely pleased. For a moment I try to work out what Lily's reading. The cover's too faded to read beyond the fact the Roman letters are on it. A pity I can't read rightly above the printed title. What are you reading, Lily? The title looks like it's in English. That's right. And there were none. An old British story. I could read it to you if you like. By the way, before I continue, this book by Agatha Christie that inspired Umineko. Anyway, if you read this, you know how Umineko is gonna work. At least some parts of it. It's really inspired by it. It really inspired Umineko. Anyway, she extends the offer with a grin, obviously in jest. I think I'll pass. Thanks. After a seemingly endless trip, we finally reached the promised land of the Sato summer house. Even after the train trip, the walk up seemed to take forever. I'm trying to remember how houses in Hokkaido look like. But anyway, let me not think about it. Despite grumblings though, I've never guessed the sight that would be in store for us once we traveled that long deserted road. It looks more like a farmhouse than an everyday house I'd imagined. Small in size and surrounded by trees and bushes. An empty expanse of wheat fields and farming land can be seen as we walk up, the fencing only consisting of rickety old wooden planks. It really drives home how far we are from the major cities, and it's a sight that feels antithetical to the environment I grew up in. The only thing that doesn't surprise me is its Western styling. Wow, it's amazing out here. It's wonderful. That's nice to hear. Well, Akira may have said that she's got the house in a reasonable condition. I was worried that we might have a different standards of reasonable. It looks like there isn't another soul for miles. I thought Akira would be the type to keep to the city. Lily furrows her brow in thought, seemingly recalling almost forgotten knowledge. From memory, there's a small town not too far ahead. Other than that, though, this is largely just an old farmland. Akira and I stayed in our parents' house, which was in the nearest city for a while. But after they left, we decided to move into a smaller, more easily maintainable house. To find a place like this in Japan nowadays, it's kind of anachronistic. Although, yeah, Hokkaido has a lot of Western style buildings, so it's not exactly it's not exactly a big surprise. Although this looks a little bit more modern than I was thinking, but I wouldn't be surprised if there's some Western style houses from what I remember. Although I never really went to the farm areas in Hokkaido because it was snowing really bad. Anyway. Well, this town does have quite a bit of history. I looked down the street one last time before getting back to the task at hand. Shall we go in then? I'm parched. It was a long walk to get here. Lily is an enthusiastic nod. The three of us lugging our bags into the house. It looks like someone's random photo of their house. As soon as we set foot inside, Hanako and I start looking around, taking in every detail of where we will be staying for the next few days. All the artifacts of another light stop mid-in-motion are around the house, such as the television guy lying beside the counter and it was on, and pans, and the adorning kitchen still sitting on the stove. It's a strange feeling, really. As if we were stepping into Akira's life for a brief moment, before leaving in a couple of days just as we come. Of course, the more mundane reality is that she just hasn't cleaned up after herself that well. Where should we put our bags? I'll show Hanako our bedroom. You can put yours here if you like. You mean, and I have the same bedroom as you two? Scandalous, man. What the hell, man? This isn't that kind of like, stay over overnight, whatever. Anyway, Hanako flowers into full blush as Lily takes her cheek in her hand. Oh my, how bold. You two. Hold on. If I'm to leave my bags here, where will I be sleeping? Well, seeing as we lack a guest bedroom. The convertible futon, huh? Sorry, Hisao. I sigh, lamenting my place on the bottom rung of the sleeping location priorities. I guess there's no other choice. There's a couch. Why can't he sleep on the couch? That's the OG Airbnb. A random ass couch in someone's house. Lily leaves to show Hanako to their bedroom. So I take a small tour of my surroundings after I drop my bag on the floor. Remember, this is the guy who doesn't have anything else except for his underwear. What the fuck? I don't know. I consider that a slob. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I consider myself a slob, but not that slob. not that bad. Anyway. The kitchen, just like the living room, is fairly modest. The rustic nature of the wooden furnishings drives home on just how far we are from civilization. Returning to the living room, I decide to try out the television until they get back. With a touch of the remote, it immediately flickers to life, apparently set to a news channel. Almost plopping down from exhaustion rather than sitting, I lay back and watch. And watch. And watch. Falls asleep. Nice.
Hisao? I quickly blinked to wake myself up. Lily and Hanako having returned minus their bags. Wait, why is there the sound of cicadas? It's no longer summer, so I'd expect. I don't know, man. Do cicadas still stay during like fucking fall? I don't know, man. I don't live in the countryside or some shit, so I never know. And why is it Lily? I mean, why is it Hanako who tries to wake me up? Wake Hisao up, and not Lily. Let's not think about this too much. From the Hokkaido night sky, visible outside the door windows, it looks like I drifted off to sleep. Looking to the wall-mounted clock, it's already 10. Wait, what time did they arrive? Did they even mention that? You found the television then? Yeah, it really does feel nice and homey here. I'm glad you like it. You were already out like a light when we came back after unpacking our things, so we didn't have the heart to wake you sooner. Judging from her giggle, it must sound funny when I sleep. I swiftly decide not to inquire. There's some dinner waiting for you in the kitchen. Oh, that's nice, Hanako. Hanako gives a deep yawn, only just remembering to cover her mouth at the last second. My. Are you tired? Uh, I didn't get much sleep last night. I'm pretty tired too. It was a long walk up here, and it's getting late. If that's the case, I suppose we should retire for the night. Good night, Hisao. Good night. Night. With that, they quietly turn and walk back to their bedroom. Rubbing my eyes, I sigh. I wonder if I'll be able to get back to sleep after being woken up. I suppose I'll eat something and watch some more television quietly before going to bed. Wait, I'll be right back. Let me grab some water. Why is it Hanako is the first person always talking? It's kind of weird for me. I find it weird. All right, let's continue. It's 10 o'clock, and I will give myself 42 minutes, and I have to end stream, and I want to get a lot of sleep. Anyway. Is he still sleeping? I think so. I'm not. I am, however, incredibly tired. It's getting late in the morning. I know that. He likely stayed up to watch television. I could hear it from our bedroom, only because I couldn't get to sleep. Should we wake him? Don't do that, Hanako. Please. No. We should leave him. I thought he'd want to be woken early if he didn't get much sleep during the night. Thank you, Lily. Besides, he sounds so peaceful. It would be a shame to wake him up when he's like this. Keep a straight face, Hisao. It's nice she cares so much, though. Um, Hanako, could you go to the fridge and fish out what's needed to make lunch? All right, just the veggies and the rice. Hmm, that should be enough. We only need something simple, as we can eat in town later. Hanako's footsteps on the carpeted floor can be heard, moving away from the living room. As they do, I feel Lily's hand gently rest on my chest. It takes a titanic effort not to react, but something about her makes me think she knows I'm awake. A long silence passes. The only thought in my mind is of that gentle, outstretched hand laying upon my chest. After an indiscernible amount of time, Lily withdraws her hand. Good morning, Hisao. Conceding defeat all too easily, I prop myself and rub my eyes. How'd you know? Your breathing was off. Oh my god! Oh yeah, I can imagine it's so strong that she could tell. I didn't know that was a thing. I didn't know that was a thing! Holy shit! Well, that makes sense. She couldn't have needed that long to work it out. Knowing her hearing, she likely knew before laying her hand on me. If you want to sleep more, you should really go to bed earlier. I heard the television going long into the night. Sorry about that. My medications have been interfering with my sleep for a while now. Literally me! Literally me! Also have sleep problems. What the fuck? Even if I'm tired, I have trouble actually sleeping. I'm sorry for bringing it up, Hisao. I sigh. This is exactly the kind of thing I wish others wouldn't do. Remember, she's the type of person who likes me to be upfront about things rather than hiding things, so I'm just gonna address it. Yeah, so far all the good choices I've taken so far is me about being honest about myself. Come on, you worry about me more than I do at times. It just means I had to sleep a bit longer. That's all. But still, I'd say that I look absolutely fine. But I guess that wouldn't have a lot of meaning for you. She gives a sigh of consternation before trailing off with an amused chuckle, keeping up the point. You say so. Please do take care of yourself, Hisao. Go on, Hanako. Go on. Hanako could use some help. She moves to protest, but reluctantly acquiesces, and disappears into the kitchen, her hand running along the smooth white walls as she slowly walks. For a while, I sit and watch television in an attempt to wake myself a little more. But it's futile. I don't have anything better to do, so I follow Lily's lead. Lily? Where's my... Oh. To take care of something really quickly. Wait, I'll be right back. All right, let's get back to this. So weird how that works. Anyway. As I round the corner, I see Hanako and Lily, backs turned, quietly cutting food on the granite-colored counter. I am temporarily engrossed as I watch Lily guiding the knife down carefully with a finger on the cabbage she's cutting. Every slice delivered slowly but with precision. She seems a little slow, but considering that she can't see what she's doing, it's a small wonder she can cook at all, let alone for both her and Hanako. Hi, Hanako and Lily. Want any help? Is that it? Ah! Oh, morning, Hisao. Lily jerks back in surprise before turning around. Her yelp immediately drawing Hanako and me to her side. What's up? A small trickle of scarlet falls downward from her pale fingertip, the knife having cut just deep enough to draw blood. With the television sound masking my footsteps, she must not have noticed me coming. To compensate for having to use touch to guide everything she does during cooking, she must need to pay extra attention. Lily! Don't worry, Hanako. It's just a small wound. You should still get a band-aid on it, at least. At least until it stops bleeding. First aid stuff would be in the bathroom, right? I think so. Will you okay be here? Will you be okay here, Hanako? I frown at how little heed she's paying to herself, as Hanako gives a quick and almost automatic nod. It's fine. I can keep making lunch. Oh, that's a nice tub they have there. Really, really rustic. That's really rustic. It's a nice looking tub. An awkward silence reigns as I set the bottle of antiseptic and box of band-aids on the side of the sink, Lily's finger held out for me to treat. The lid of the bottle comes off with a minimum resistance, and a small ball of cotton I soak in the liquid stains a pale green. That's an interesting color for antiseptic. I mean, maybe I'm used to the brown one, you know. Hydrogen peroxide? No, hydrogen peroxide is colorless. I'm already thinking of something else. But anyway, let's go. Okay. Hold still. This will probably hurt a bit. She gives a small nod as I take hold of her hand to steady it, with all the tenderness I can muster. I greatly bring dampened wad to the small red line. Ah! What? I barely touched it. Sorry. I give a sigh, and both her reaction and to sell my own nerves. Her pain tolerance is surprisingly low. I mean, if your senses are directed to, everything else, sound, smell, touch, it's gonna hurt more. I would tell you to man up, but I can't really do that. As she gives a small giggle, I take advantage of her momentarily distraction and gently press the cotton against her finger a few times. Thankfully, it's enough to do the job. We both sell somewhat as I bring the band-aid over the tip of her finger, covering the wound while making sure not to get it stuck to her fingernail. There, finished. You can move now. Taking her hand from mine, she gently clasps in the other. Thank you. It's no problem. It's the least I can do after causing you to hurt yourself after all. She lowers her head slightly in an apology, absent-mindedly rubbing her hand in what seems to be embarrassment. I really don't mind. Her answer doesn't seem to make much sense, given that what happened is pretty clearly my fault. I can't help grimace at her. Despite the fact that her dainty smile still holds, she must not like being reminded of the limitations her sight of lack imposes on her. It's something I can't possibly fault her for. I've fallen prey to the same kind of feelings before, despite my condition not being nearly as ubiquitous as in my life. Neither of us any the happier. We held back to the various smells of cooking food coming from the kitchen. I lay out the plates of food, steam slowly rising from the well-cooked rice and curry. Curry again? While Hanako lays out the cutlery. Anyway, knife on one side, fork on the other. Western. How perfectly fitting for someone like Lily. As we take our seats, taking careful heed of the dark red tablecloth hanging below our knees, Lily emerges from the kitchen. In her hands are 3 glasses and a bottle of wine. As I recall our previous run-in with this devilish elixir, I hide my face in my palm. Alcohol? Seriously? She pauses as she reaches the table, a playful grin perched on her face. Akira specifically gave permission to take a bottle from her collection. Not only does she give alcohol to minors, she even lets them fill for their own. The perfect model for a responsible adult Akira is not. More to the point, though, is that this is hardly a meal deserving of alcohol. I'm sorry to think Lily's the type to easily become hooked on things. Just so you know, they drinking is so nice. I should try that with curry. I should make curry and try to drink some wine then. Yeah, it's been a while since I made curry. Maybe I should do that this week. But anyway, that's not really the problem. I don't really have any qualms with it, but didn't you have a bad experience with it last time? Last time was likely due to drinking too much. So, a single glass shouldn't prove a problem. Think of it as a learning experience. That's what they all say, man. That's what they all say. 1 glass. 1 glass. When they mean by 1 glass, it's this huge. Okay. Okay, I've heard this before. I can't recall many learning experiences that made me feel brought in before putting me to sleep, but I'll take your word for it. She dips an uninjured finger inside to feel the liquid level. Tip against the bottom as the liquid rises up. The white of her finger almost seemed to glow as the sunlight hits it, with the delicate outline blurred and reflected by the light. Her fingers are definitely longer than mine, the kind I think more suited to a pianist than a teacher. She'll likely have done well if she learned how to play. We quickly dig into our meal, forks and knives clattering against plates. None of us are particularly eager to speak while eating. Lily, altogether too reserved for such a thing. Hanako probably too shy to start a conversation, and I too busy savoring the meal. Such a pedestrian activity. Eating together at the table. It seems so utterly normal. Yet, it makes me realize how long it's been since I've done something like this. Just the trio of us, sitting around a single table eating, as if we were a malformed family. Maybe this trip, as far away from everything as we are, was worth it. It takes quite a long time, but eventually we all finish our surprisingly filling meal. The wine, thankfully, has little effect given we only had a glass or 2 each. I slump back into the seat, rubbing my stomach contently. Fine stuff. Lily pats her mouth with a napkin. Twice, only twice, and with evenly timed intervals in between. It's hard to tell sometimes whether how she acts is a well-trained routine or well-rehearsed act. I think I must be as well. Did you like it, Hanako? It was nice. Now that we're well fed, shall we be off then? Off? Where? You weren't privy to the discussion between Hanako and me earlier. I get the impression that she's having a subtle date at my sleeping in. We'll be going into town nearby. I guess I should have expected 2 girls to take a holiday as an excuse to go shopping, no matter where on the planet they may be. I am interested to see more around the north though, so this can only be a good thing. Sounds good. How long's the walk in, though? It's supposed to be around a mile to a mile and a half. Nearby, huh? Great. Just great. As we climb up the path surrounded by trees and undergrowth, I watch Lily and Hanako walking ahead. A slight breeze is all but whisked away the sound of Lily's cane gently tapping on the ground. I notice that Lily has since removed the band-aid now that the bleeding of her finger has stopped. A deep, lung-filled breath of the fresh country air makes me wish all the harder that the air around the home had been quite so clean. It can't have even been half a mile, but I'm already working up a sweat. It isn't a pleasantly cool day, though, so I shouldn't be too hard on myself for it. Hey, Lily, how well do you know this town anyway? Since I've spent quite a few of my vacations here up until I entered Yamaku, I'd say I know it fairly well. We used to drive there once a weekend then. How I wish Akira was here to drive us now. I quickly take a moment to rub my hands a couple times, staving off the oddly cold feeling in them. Did you like it up here? I'd say it was nice during winter. But as it can work out, summers can get a little too hot for comfort. It's nice and quiet at least. Wait a second, it's still summer? I thought it was like, already like the season already changed and all. But then again, it's barely a month since they've. I mean, it's just more than a month. My sense of duration of the story is kind of weird. I'm a little confused. Not gonna lie. Anyway, let's continue. My family's real house is quite far south. When they left Japan, my parents gave it to Akira and me. Only Akira lives there now, after my moving into Yamaku. Well, quiet certainly describes this place. Though lonely is how I'd put it. Other than the prophesied small town, there isn't any other soul for miles around. Coming from a home nested deep within the big city, it's certainly different. I think that if I'd not come to Yamaku, staying out in the country like this would be too much of a change to get used to. After getting accustomed to the school's isolation though, the idea of living in a place such as this has become almost inviting. To be somewhere away from the hustle and bustle of the metropolitan centers. So, Hisao, have you been to Hokkaido before? Nah. I used to live down south. Kyushu South? I actually don't know. Well, he said south. Kansai South? Kyushu South? Kyushu South? Kyushu's very south. Anyway, and we never had any field trips or holidays up this far. Well, it's a new experience for you then. Yeah, it is. I'm surprised at how nice it feels here. Yeah, Hokkaido has a very different feel from what I remember. But then again, the only time I went there was like winter. I really want to go there like fall or spring. But we'll see. Next year again? Let me try again next year? I don't know. Let me continue. How about you, Hanako? She shakes her head from side to side. It's my first time too. As we continue walking, I begin to feel pins and needles in my legs. It's a little disturbing given there's no reason for it to be happening. Could you two hold on a moment? I just need to... Is anything wrong? Nah. I just got pins and needles in... Oh, fuck the timing, man! My vocal cords suddenly become taut as my chest tightens instantaneously. I quickly pull my upper arm over it, trying to quell the short of pain spreading throughout my entire body. Hisao! Lily's face is only mildly concerned, not knowing the side which Hanako's recoiling from. I'm fine. I'm fine. Just tired. I remove my arm from my chest and force myself to begin walking again, It's just a minor heart flutter, so it'll pass like the others. It only takes a couple of steps before my body finally revolts against me. My legs suddenly begin to give way underneath me, and all the tension in my knees seeming to evaporate. Before I can react, they uselessly give way under my weight, leaving me only just enough time to brace myself and fall onto all fours. I'm having a Shiki moment again. Holy shit. Hot damn. Hissa! As I look up to her, I realize my face is still plumped with pain, only adding that much more to her worrying. Hisao! Hanako, tell me what's going on! Hanako, tell me! Hanako quickly moves to my side as Lily almost panics. Having little clue as to exactly how bad a condition I'm in. While she stands there petrified, I lower my head, I lower my face, and take a deep breath. I come to a realization that makes me endlessly irritated with my stupid self. With all the excitement of the new surroundings, but entirely neglected to take my medications last night, or even this morning. Yeah. Yeah. He did forget to do that. And he doesn't exercise. Oh, Emmy route. Yeah, because I told my character his how to stop exercising because I didn't go for Emmy's route. Holy shit. Anyway, taking another breath, the acute pain in my chest begins to die down as suddenly as it had arrived. Thank God, thank God, thank God, thank God, thank God. As it does, I become acutely aware of the sweat by now pouring out my face and the two scared girls around me. Hisao! I'm fine, Lily. I'm fine. I screw up my brow in an effort to lever myself up. Hanako's arms quickly moving to catch me if I fall as I stumble a bit before regaining my balance. I look to Lily and Hanako, worry written on both their faces. I feel awful. Utterly awful. I think we should go back. Realizing the futility of protesting, I look away in frustration. Fine. I didn't realize that he was so dependent on his meds, man. Like, if him missing it twice was enough to just make him randomly have a heart flutter. That bad. I mean, damn. And he's not exercising because I didn't go for Emmy's route. I'm supposed to do Emmy's route after this. So, we'll see. I open my eyes groggily, completely bereft of energy. For a while, I simply lie down lightlessly, staring at the ceiling as I recall the events of the morning in an attempt to organize my thoughts. Yes, this is a Shiki moment. It's as if Aki had like a fit of rage somewhere at something, and then it affected Shiki with a bout of anemia or some shit. Anyway, we went to walk to town. My heart nearly gave away. We came back. I took my pills. I slept. I can only remember each period of time as a snapshot, but the timeline is clear enough. The memory of the girls' faces as they struggled to stand is an unpleasant one, stinging my feelings harshly. If I look at the ceiling hard enough, I can imagine the tile edges and small dimples of the ceiling in the hospital. That fact alone is enough to make me sit up and try to pull myself together. I scratch the back of my disheveled hair. Glancing around the room, Lily and Hanako are nowhere to be seen, and the television is turned off. The clock above it says it's pretty late in the afternoon. The notably reddened sky outside the window confirms it's further. I turn and pick myself off the futon, swaying slightly as I put my arms out for balance. I suppose I better go look for the girls to see if they're all right. As I look out the window, I faintly see something in the distance. Straining my eyes, I can just make out the shape of a person's figure. Her long blonde hair swaying in the faint breeze make her almost seem to melt into bright yellow of the wheat field. Without a second thought, I lead Arun to follow that lone apparition. This is my Kohaku moment, but in a wheat field in Ohio. Just kidding. Why would I go? I actually don't know if Ohio is full of fucking wheat and shit. I actually don't know. But let's continue. The bright end of the setting sun assaults my freshly woken eyes, forcing me to avert them until they adjust. The long yellow strands of wheat brush against my legs as I wade through them, the densely grown field making it hard to advance. Regardless, my eyes stay fixed ahead, true to that solitary figure. Within minutes, I reach her meters behind her turned back. Lily? She simply nods.
Give me a second. Something weird is happening with my sound.
I seem to be back because my sound started to sound weird. Alright, let's continue. Where's Hanako? She's in bed. She went to sleep after I calmed her down. She says it matter of factly, and with as few words as possible, as if saying any more was strictly forbidden. There's something different about her. Her normally confident figure seems oddly frail, fragile, her body offering no resistance to the breeze blowing her skirt. The strands of wheat sway from side to side, while a deafening pause passes, the only sound being their rustling. As we stand in the field alone, I know what I had to ask. What's wrong, Lily? You're not acting like you usually do. Remember when I talked about my family, Hisao? Your family? I looked downwards in thought, stifling through my scattered memories. The event seems to leap ready to hand when I search for it, rising to the surface as soon as it was recalled. After Hanako's birthday party, she gets a simple nod. It was nice. Back then, you and I, celebrating with Hanako, simply sharing presents, talking, having fun together. It was almost as if we were a family. One small, misshapen family. I thought that it could just go on forever. Just the three of us happily together. She takes a long breath. A slight shakiness to it, just barely audible through the moving air. Even if my family was so far away, as long as we were together, that was all I needed. I don't want to lose you, Hisao. I didn't even realize how afraid I was of losing someone else until today. I'm sorry, Lily. I know my body's weak, but even then, I make the most stupid of mistakes. Don't apologize. Please, don't apologize. Lily? She turns to face me, her pale cheeks stained with tears. One misguided step after another, she stumbles towards me, her arms held out in search of so much as faint brush against me. Damn, this futuristic scene. I like his shirt. I like his shirt. I like his. I don't know what you call this thing. I like it. That's his getup. Keto scene. Anyway, my heart doesn't race nor pound as I step forward slowly, gently taking and setting her in my arms as she quickly clutches to me, sobbing, with her face trembling against my shoulder. The next words from her mouth are the last I expected. I love you, Hisao. I love you. 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 Wow, she just went all in. Wow.
Don't go away. I beg of you. Never ever go away. I love you. So please.
So that's why she's been acting like this. That tender voice when I called her. Her thoughtless concern at the slightest pain I might feel. After having been left in Japan without her family, and with only Akira, Hanako and me around, she was afraid of losing yet another person who was close to her. She was genuinely worried for me. It's a strange feeling. A mix of surprise and sorrow. Yet also the deepest gratitude I think I've ever felt. The only reaction I can muster among my conflicting emotions is a calm sigh. You idiot.
Sao?
For a fleeting moment, I feel her body become still. The only movement to be felt is the calm afternoon breeze. I said it before, didn't I? It's only natural to feel concerned about those around you. I'm still here, and I'll always be here, because I want to see you more each day, to share in your happiness, to support you in your sadness. But most of all, I'll still be here because I want to see your smile. Your true smile. A single gust of wind rustles the long strands of wheat. A second silence passes. Smile when you want to smile. Cry when you want to cry. I love you, Lily. So you don't have to hold back anymore. With that, her arms clutch my back as tightly as she can. Her face buried beside mine. Her tears fall down my back, and she cries unrestrainedly as the last of her resistance melts away.
Hisao! Hisao! Hisao!
I close my eyes and bring my head down to her shoulder, holding her shaking frame tightly. It's okay, Lily. I'll never go away. I promise. We slowly walk back to the house, holding each other tightly as we take a seat inside. Lily leans her head on my shoulder as I put my arm around her waist. Neither of us has anyone to break the silence. With her eyes shut, it's hard to work out whether she's falling asleep. Not that I mind. The warmth of her body leaning against me. The softness of her hand delicately held in mine. For a long, long time, we sit leaning against one another, sharing our warmth and feelings as night eventually begins to settle in. Lily's gentle, soft voice ends the silence.
Thank you, Hisao.
Thank you.
For returning my feelings.
Did you think I wouldn't?
There was the possibility.
I take a deep breath and thought. That much was only my fault. It's funny, actually. I was thinking of telling you about my own feelings sometime soon. I guess, in that way, you save me the effort. She raises her head a little and gives a tiny amused giggle. I smile at how earnest it is, so girlish in its lightness. She collects herself soon afterward, her hair resting against my shoulder. Feeling a bit better? She gives a small nod. You're so thoughtful, Hisao. That's why I like you. I'm sorry. I'm like this. As much as I didn't want to make you concerned for me, I couldn't do anything to prevent it. Don't apologize for it. Please, don't. Lily? Have I ever apologized for my blindness, even once? You can't help the way you were born, Hisao. There's no point in apologizing for who you are. She says it with a surprising conviction. In the end, it was perhaps this mentality which spurred her to befriend me in such a short time. In addition to her motherly instincts, she did seem to become trusting very quickly, but I never questioned why. Now it seems obvious that she did so to help me as I went through one of the lowest points of my life. I moved to respond, but cut myself off as I feel her fingers gently through my hair. I feel their soft and delicate touch moving downward to trace the contours of my face, her palm finally settling on my cheek. You are a beautiful person, Hisao. Please, don't ever apologize for that. For a moment, I'm utterly speechless. I slowly bend my head down, placing a tender kiss on her light, voluminous hair. We're a couple right old fools, aren't we? We are. After a long calm, she speaks again. Hisao? Yes? I wouldn't mind if you... I feel her hand tensing under mine, trembling slightly. My mouth opens. But try as I might, I can't formulate a response to her proposition.
Are we so in? Are we so in, guys? By the way, this is an all ages stream, unfortunately.
Lily. Before I can say another word, she slips her hand from under mine and tenderly holds the side of my face once more. Please. I give a peaceful smile and hold her hand against my cheek as I nod a single time. Okay. As I look into her eyes, she leans towards me. Her delicate lips touch mine as she guides herself with her hand. She breaks off not a second later, faintly smiling. I love you, Hisao. We kiss again, this time with both of us meeting the other. While the previous kiss was one of love, this is one of lust. Our tongues meeting and our breathing heavy. After precious seconds we part, both our faces well and truly flush. Both of us bring our fingers to our lips in unison, recalling the fleeting feeling, rapidly becoming buried both by our urges and bashfulness. Lily is first to ship uncomfortably, though. What is it? Should we get more comfortable? Okay. Now that she mentions it, the futon would be a bit too narrow to do much. I like that. He was thinking about that. Considering the thoughts running through both our minds, it's no small wonder one of us has any measure of foresight left. I take her hand and guide her sideways as I move, the bright and awkward dance ending with both of us tenderly sitting on the floor opposite each other. As I reach for her to pull her top up, she stops after she moves her hands to do the same. You're shaking. I pause for a moment, and look at my hands. Sure enough, they're quivering slightly. Whether it's from nervousness or excitement, I'm not sure. I guess I am. So you're as nervous as I am then. I withdraw my hands and sigh, steadying myself. We have plenty of time, so there's no need to rush this.
I don't know. Maybe Hanako randomly wakes up. Anyway.
Sorry. It's my first time, so I'm a bit... She giggles shakily, all but confirming what I reasonably deduced by now. It's the same for me. I'm happy. We could share this together. I match her smile twofold, leaning forward and taking her body in my arms as she reaches to hug me back. I love you, Lily. You already said that. I can't help grinning, even in such a situation. She still has her wits about her. Breaking our embrace, we decide to take off our own clothing. While it's easier this way, I don't doubt it's just an attempt to distract ourselves from our nerves. With slightly stiff hands, I begin to slide the first button off my shirt. Once we remove the last of our clothes, which end up haphazardly piled behind us, my breath is taken by the sight in front of me. Wait, do we still have the full conversation? The full lines, the full set of lines without this? Only just that we don't change scenes. Is that it? What the fuck? Well, if it's nothing explicit, I have to go through this.
Her long, shapely legs, full hips, and her breasts plump spontaneously. Her slightly blushing face, delicate and reserved.
Why am I reading it like this?
Is framed by the bangs of her hair. Her hands, tightly held behind her, only serve to further accentuate her chest. Her tall, inflated body is beautiful when bared. The girl in front of me, reserved yet playful, astute yet hospitable, is the girl I've fallen in love with. I lean forward, delicately taking her shoulders in my hands.
Wait! What the fuck? Well, guys, I have to stop this now. What is that? I wasn't ready for this. I thought the adult content was cut. I have to answer you. I'll see you guys tomorrow.